What's up, guys? It's Rick Pino here with Get Wisdom. Imagine if there was a way to turn your annual income into your monthly income. For those who don't know, this is exactly what I teach my students how to do with digital products. In fact, check out this student, Kevin, who just made $101,000 in only 30 days.
What have I made in the last 30 days? And I saw this.
This
So
made six figures in 30 days.
it's my first six-figure month ever.
And check out this student, Mike, who made $96,000 in one single week.
Monday through Saturday and closed $96,000 last week.
Mike, are you kidding me, bro?
Just crazy.
World, son.
Now listen, you might be sitting here looking at these testimonies going, this is absolutely crazy, it's impossible, there's no way you can make that much money that quick. Well, when your time and your effort are your only income producing assets, then of course making money is hard for you, because the only way that you can make more money is to take on more overtime, to work harder, to pick up that extra shift. Of course, it's harder for you to make money, but when you learn how to serve people with your knowledge and with your creativity, making money becomes very, very simple. We're talking all about it today in this video. Well, guys, this video is brought to you by my upcoming 5-day live virtual training called Create and Sell Digital Products, where over the course of 5 days, I'm going to show you step by step exactly how Kevin and Mike and a ton of my other students have been able to do crazy amounts of money online serving people with their digital products. Now, this training is perfect if you are not a guru, if you don't have a bunch of tech skills, all you need is a phone and a laptop to get started. Here's the crazy part, guys. Kevin and Mike, those testimonies you just saw, they were both beginners. They were both beginners when they started in my system. And I'm telling you, the training, the 5-day virtual training that's coming up, it's perfect for beginners. So click the link down below, register as a VIP, come and join me, you won't be sorry. Guys, let's jump into the video. So really cool story. So one of my mentors told me this story recently that made a lot of sense to me. He was on a flight recently and he sat down next to this kind of prestigious looking young man. And he goes, well, hey, what's up, man? You know, they're getting ready to take off. Hey, what's up, man? So what do you do for a living? And the guy says, I'm a physicist. And my mentor goes, oh, cool, I love physics. He says, what's one of your favorite things about physics? And the young physicist kind of sits there for a minute and he thinks about it and he says, you know, I think one of my favorite things about physics is that all principles are microcosms of each other. And my mentor goes, okay, cool, that sounds amazing. Like, explain that to me. And the physicist went on to describe the idea that if a principle works in one arena, then it will also work in every other arena. For instance, if there is a principle that works in nature, it will also work in business or in health and fitness or in relationships. And he began to describe, like, man, if you find a principle, a truth that works anywhere, it will work everywhere. And so I want you to keep this story in mind, because I'm about to build a context here and describe to you exactly how you can turn your annual income into your monthly income by simply tapping in to some powerful principles, okay? I recently read a really awesome book. I suggest you check it out. It's called The Key Person of Influence, and it's by a guy named Daniel Priestley. And Daniel says it like this. Actually, come with me to the board. Let me show you here. Daniel says it like this. Income follows assets. Income follows assets. What does that mean? Okay, the meaning of income follows assets, what this means is, let me break it down to you like this, okay? Broke-minded people, the reason why they stay broke is because broke-minded people usually spend their income on liabilities. Liabilities are purchases that you make that cost you over and over and over again. Okay, but an asset is an investment that you make that makes you money over and over and over again. And if you want to learn how to create real wealth, you need to start investing into assets. Okay, now remember, all principles are microcosms of each other. Hold that in mind, but before we do, I just gotta bring this one more piece to you, then I'm gonna break down everything for you here, but just hang on with me for 1 second, okay? So, knowing that income follows assets, what do you need to do? you need to acquire some assets, okay? And one of the best ways that you can acquire assets is to acquire the assets that are skills. I've said it like this before, a few others have said it like this before. It's one thing to invest into the S&P 500. It's another thing to invest into the SME 500. What does that mean? It means if you can begin to develop skills, okay, and you can grow in, let's say, digital marketing or sales or just marketing in general, right? Or digital products. If you can begin to develop these skills, then now you become recession proof, because all of these skills that you begin to develop into yourself, income begins to follow them, okay? And so if you want to learn how to create your annual income in a month, you've got to start investing into the asset that is yourself. See, most people right now, they stay stuck because they get to a certain level in their job or in their career, and they're like, well, this is just how it is, and I'm fine with making whatever. Maybe they made it to 6 figures a year. I'm fine with making 6 figures a year. Well, guess what? You can make 6 figures a month. In fact, here's a crazy testimony for you. I cannot remember the last time that I did not make at least 6 figures a month for the past years and years and years and years, because I have certain assets that are skills, and because I tap into certain principles that work, they just work, period. Okay, so that's kind of the context of where we're going here. Okay, so income follows assets. Broke people, they only spend on liabilities. Wealthy people, we invest into assets, okay? I want to submit this idea to you, and then we're going to really start breaking this idea down, how to create your annual income into a month, okay? Here's the idea I want to submit to you. The people who are making 10 times more money than you, is it because they're working 10 times longer than you? Is it because they're working 10 times harder than you? Like, think about it. If you're working 40 hours a week and someone's making 10 times more money than you, is it because they're working 400 hours a week? No, that's impossible. There's not 400 hours in a week, right? So what are they doing in order to be making way more money than you? Well, I think you know the answer. They're not working harder, they're working smarter, okay? So knowing all of this now, come with me here to the board and let's talk about how principles are microcosms of each other, and how you can begin to leverage these principles to begin to rapidly accelerate the pace that you begin to earn income. If you're getting some value, drop some fire emojis in the comments and come with me to the board, okay? So let's say, for instance, you have got this scale right here, okay? And down here represents 1 mile, okay? So this line right here represents the distance of 1 mile, okay? And if you needed to go the distance of this 1 mile, well, guess what? You could walk, right? And if you went the distance of 1 mile and you walked, you could totally cover the mile, but it's going to take you kind of long, right? Might take you, I don't know, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe longer, 20 minutes, right? You could still cover the distance, but it's just going to take you longer because you're not leveraging much there, right? You're just putting in a lot of effort and time. But watch this, okay? What if you didn't just walk? Like, what if you ran, okay? You could probably cover the distance of the mile a little bit faster, okay? Now, it's gonna take more effort. You might be a little bit more tired because, again, the thing that you're leveraging in the running option here is just more effort. You could cover the distance longer, but guess what's better than running? If you had a bike. Aha! See, now with a bike, you could cover the distance of the mile even faster because you're beginning to leverage a different system, okay? Remember what I said, the people who are making more money than you, it's not because they're working harder than you or longer than you, it's because they're working smarter than you, And what this means is that you can get faster results by simply leveraging better systems, better approaches, and better principles than you are leveraging right now. Come with me back to the board. Guess what's better than covering the distance of a mile than a bike? How about a car? If you have a car, you could totally cover the distance of the mile much faster than if you even had a bike, right? And it just keeps going on and on. There's levels to it, right? Like, what if you had an airplane, right? Now you could cover the distance of the mile extremely fast with an airplane. Do you see what I'm saying here? Okay. When you begin to understand there are smarter ways to earn money, there are better systems, there are better approaches, there are better principles that you can leverage instead of you just trying to walk your mile, quote unquote, like, well, I'm just trying to make some money, I'm just out here walking. Well, no wonder why it feels like it's so hard, because you have nothing to leverage. You don't have a proven system. You don't have a proven blueprint. You're just out there exerting force and spending a lot of time. Yes, you could eventually one day get to six figures, but I don't know about you, but wouldn't you want to get there faster? Right? So guess what you need to begin to do? You need to begin to invest into assets, and the best assets you can invest into are your skills. Because imagine if the guy or the gal who is walking invested into some running shoes or into some training on running. Imagine if the guy or gal who ran invested into a bike. Imagine the person with the bike who invested into a car. Imagine the person with the car who invested into the airplane. If you see something here, notice this, okay? Every level that you go up in the levels of leverage, they get the investments are more expensive, but you can cover the distance much faster. And again, guys, you can even cover the distance of a mile faster than an airplane. And guess how you can do that? If you had a rocket ship, you could go a mile in a second, or however long it takes. But do you understand what I'm saying? Why did I start this training out by saying all principles are microcosms of each other and income follows assets? Because the principle that if you can just leverage, the principle that states if you can leverage a better system, if you can leverage a better approach, if you can leverage a better principle, then you no longer go, oh my gosh, how did Rick's students, how'd they make six figures in a week? This is not even possible. Well, if all you're doing is walking to cover that distance, it does seem impossible for you, right? But I teach my students how to get into their bike, into their car, into their airplane, into their rocket ship, and beyond, to where, boom, they can cover the same distance. Like, there are people in corporate America right now who they're working very, very hard for a year, and maybe they're giving like 50 to 60 hours a week at their job to make whatever, $200,000. And I literally just showed you two testimonies of students who did half of that, one of them in a week and one of them in a month. Because guess what, guys? They're leveraging better systems. They're leveraging better principles. They're leveraging better approaches. Okay? The point is this: you can cover the distance at any one of these levels. Okay? But if you have the desire to create your annual income in a month, or even better, to create your annual income not just into a month, into a week, like Mike did, or not just into a week, into a day. I've had many six-figure days. I've even had seven-figure days. Not because I'm like more special, not because what I do is a scam. No. I show everybody the moral and ethical way how to leverage digital marketing and digital products, especially if they're beginners, so that they can cover the distance of making money much faster than just trying to do it down here on these low levels, okay? So if you're taking notes, write this down, or maybe drop it in the comments if you guys are getting value in the video today, okay? I say it like this: you can always make up in leverage what you lack in ability. Ooh, what does that mean? You can always make up in leverage what you lack in ability. For instance, let's say you're at the walking level, okay? And you're just like, man, I'm trying to make this 6 figures and it's super hard and it takes so much energy. Yes, if you're walking, it's absolutely going to be hard for you to cover that mile. If you're running and you're not really in shape, it's going to be really hard for you. You're putting out more effort. You might get there a little bit faster, but my gosh, that's really, really tough. But you can always make up and leverage what you lack in ability. So let's say you're the most out of shape person ever, but you invested into a bike. Maybe you're the most out of shape person ever, quote unquote, but you invested into a car, okay? You invested into the skills. And what you lack in ability, you can make up in leverage. All principles are microcosms of each other. See, I'm telling you guys a crazy story for you, okay? So for years, I had a business and I was grinding in my business for probably 4 years at this point. And the most money my business had ever made at that point was $50,000 a month. Now you might be sitting here going, $50,000 a month, that's amazing. Well, when you have staff and overhead and you have an office and you have all these other expenses, 50,000 bucks a month to run a business is not very much. I had like 12 or 13 people on staff at the time. Basically it was breaking even. It cost me $50,000 a month to run my business and we were only making 50,000. So, oh my gosh, he's making 50,000 a month, but on paper I'm broke because we're just breaking even every single month. And I don't know about you, but I didn't have a lot to leverage, right? Like I was running really hard and I couldn't figure it out. And it wasn't until I hired another mentor, okay? And this mentor, I paid them $100,000 plus, okay? Paid them over $100,000 to teach me their system, to teach me their blueprint. And you might be sitting here going, what the heck? Rick, you hired a coach for $100,000? Yes, I did. I did. And I decided I am going to invest into an asset that can literally create income for me instead of just spending this money on more liabilities. I want to go on more vacations. I want to buy nicer shoes or have a nicer this or not. Instead of using the money for that, I said, I want more skills because I'm wearing myself out just trying to run this mile. I'm wearing myself just trying to walk this mile. I'm wearing myself trying to bike this mile. Okay. And so I chose to invest into an asset that would teach me new skills. So I paid a specific mentor 6 figures plus. And this is so crazy. Literally in 1 month, I learned their system. I learned how to put it together. I took my stuff, plugged it into their proven blueprint. And in 1 week, I made $400,000 in a week. And you might be sitting here going, wait, what? I'm telling you guys. What I did is I went from walking and running and biking, $100,000. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy the airplane, man. I'm going to make a big investment. And because I was able to leverage this idea that all principles are microcosms of each other and you can make up in leverage what you lack in ability. See, I didn't have the ability at the time to cover that distance the way that I desired. So what did I do? I invested into leverage. I invested into coaching, into mentorship. And I said, dude, would you please teach me the game? And they did. I took their system, right? I leveraged a better system. I leveraged better principles. And when I did, I was able to make $400,000 in a week. And it was at that point that I learned, if you're taking notes, write this down. It was at that point that I learned it's easier to make a lot of money in a short amount of time than it is to make a little bit of money over a long period of time. Now listen, I know you're probably watching going, that just sounds like hogwash. That's impossible. You can't make a lot of money quick. Again, if you are brainwashed to think that the only way to cover the distance is by quote unquote walking or running, then of course for you, covering that distance or making that money quickly is going to be very hard. But when you begin to tap into better principles, when you begin to tap into better opportunities, when you begin to learn how to leverage, then guess what? It becomes possible for you. This is true, guys. This is happening right now. It's happening in my life. It's happening in my students' life. It can happen in your life as well. So here's the punchline I want to give you today in today's video. If you can go physically faster with leverage, okay? If you can go physically faster, like walking the mile, you can get there eventually, but it's going to take time. Running, you can get there a little bit quicker, but it's going to wear you out. When you start investing into skills like I need to learn how to market, I need to learn how to sell, I need to learn how to take the knowledge, experience, the expertise that I already have, I need to learn how to turn these into profitable digital products that where you can create the product one time and then it has the potential to pay you over and over and over again. Okay? When you can learn these systems, I submit to you, if you can go physically faster with leverage, then you can go financially faster with leverage as well. Are you getting this? If you're getting it, let me know in the comments. I need at least 20 people in the comments say, I'm getting it, I'm getting it, I'm getting it, I'm getting it. So what does this mean, guys? This means it's always easier to make big strides than it is to make small advances. It's easier to make big strides than it is to make small advances. In other words, quantum leaps are easier than baby steps. What? What did he just say? Quantum leaps are easier than baby steps? Yes. And the reason why that doesn't feel possible for you is because, like I keep mentioning, from birth, we were all brainwashed in the cultural hypnotic societal mechanism, AKA child prisons, AKA schools. We were all brainwashed to think, what is the hardest way to get to the answer? We were all programmed to make small advances over a long period of time, and no one ever showed us how to make the big advances over a short period of time. But now that's what I do. I teach my students how to make the quantum leaps in a short amount of time as possible. This can happen for you. Do you believe that this is possible? If you believe, just let me know in the comments. Say, I believe, I believe, I believe. Why do most people think that making money is hard? Because they only know how to think through the lens of slow and hard. AKA, they only know how to think through the lens of trading your time for your dollars. What's the slowest way I could cover the distance? If I want to make more money, I've got to pick up an overtime. I have to work over, I have to get an extra shift. I have to work harder. Why is making money so hard for people? Why do most people, they're not able to make their annual income in a month? Because they're still under the old programming. If you're going to make those big strides, then you need to learn how to think differently. If you're going to make those big quantum leaps, then you need to learn how to leverage better principles, better systems, better opportunities. Remember, you can always make up in leverage what you lack in ability. I say it like this. If you're taking notes, write this down. Leveraged work is better, easier, and faster than laborious work. In fact, come with me to the board. I'm going to write that one down. Leveraged work is always better, easier, and faster than labored work. Why? Because leveraged work is more effective, it's more efficient, it uses less energy. Think about it. Remember, when I showed you guys the leverage of these different opportunities, guess what? I don't know about you, but driving a car takes a lot less effort than running extremely fast. Driving a car, you just sit there and your foot does this and then your foot does that. And then your hand does this and your hand does that. When you're running, you're like exerting all this energy. It's the same way with making money, man. Leveraged work is better, easier, faster than labored work because it's more effective, it's more efficient, and it uses less energy. One of the reasons, guys, let me just read from my notes here. One of the many reasons why so many people stay broke and they stay struggling is because they're asking the question, well, how much is the leverage going to cost me? Right? Like, think about it. Like the guy who's walking, man, I really want to learn how to make my annual income in a month, but gosh, how much does a car cost? I don't want to buy a car. What about a bike? I don't know, man. I don't have money for a bike right now. I'd rather run. I'd rather be out here sweating. I'd rather be out here exerting all this energy and all this force. Really? I submit to you, the way that broke-minded people think, they're always focused on what's it going to cost me. But wealthy-minded people, we are always focused on what's it going to cost if I don't. Instead of you asking yourself, how much will the leverage cost me? How much does a bike cost? How much does a car cost? How much does an airplane cost? Oh my gosh. Rick invested 6 figures. Yes, gladly. And I did it again and again for the next years and years after that. Why? Because it is no brainer for me to leverage and invest into skills, into assets, because the income will follow my assets, and $100K into a mentorship that made me $400K in a week is a no-brainer. I'll do that every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. Straight up. So stop asking yourself, how much will it cost me? And start asking yourself, how much will it cost you to not have leverage? Okay? So guys, let me break down a little bit of math for you. I'm going to start wrapping this up. Check this out. Okay? Let's talk about digital products here for a second. Okay? Let me do some math for you, okay? In order to make $72,000, okay, you can either work 40 hours for 52 weeks of the year, okay? So let me do the math here. So 72,000. Why did I say 72,000? Because this is kind of the median salary that most Americans make, okay? So 72,000 divided by 52, that means that this person's making 1,300-ish bucks a month, divided by 40. Okay, so this person's making roughly $34, $35 an hour, okay? So you could either work 40 hours a week for 52 weeks at $35-ish an hour to make the $72,000, or you could sell 1.4 digital courses. And by the way, a course is not the only thing. You could sell ebooks, you could sell courses, you could sell mentorships, right? You need to learn how to leverage a better opportunity, learn how to leverage a better system so that you can cover the distance faster, because all principles are microcosms of each other. And if you can cover the distance of a mile faster in a bike than you can walking, then guess what? You can make 72K or 100K much faster by leveraging a better system than just giving your life, your more time and energy. Right? So if you were to sell 1.4 digital courses, okay, for $1,000, then guess what? You could make the same 1.4 digital courses a week. Okay? Think about that. Could you sell 1 or 2 courses a week? Easily. Would it be easier to sell $1,000 or $2,000 courses a week than going to work for 40 hours a week? Which one's easier? It's obvious. It's way obvious. Selling your digital product 1.4 times a week at $1,000 a pop is the same 72K. The only difference is, and now instead of you walking or running, now you're in the bike. Now you got a car. You can cover the same distance with less energy. You can become more efficient. Are you getting this? Like, let me know in the comments if you're getting this, okay? Here's the crazy part about this, okay? This is just one digital product. Imagine if you had 2 digital products. What if you had 5 digital products? What if you had 10 digital products? Are you starting to see the opportunity that's available here with digital products, guys? Here's what I want to submit to you. You need to stop having your time and your energy as your only income producing asset. You got to do whatever it takes to learn how to leverage so that you can create more assets in your skills, in your personal development, and so that you can learn how to make income as fast as humanly possible. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to encourage you again. Click the link down below. Join me for the upcoming 5-day live virtual training. I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to create and sell your own digital products. It's perfect if you're a beginner. All you need is a phone and a laptop to get started. If you're tired of trying to walk your way to wealth or run your way to wealth, and you want to level up into a bike, a car, an airplane, or even a rocket ship, like my students are doing, like I've been able to do, click the link down below. It's an extremely, extremely inexpensive investment. And I do call it an investment. This is not a liability. You're not going to go spend the money and it's going to cost you over and over and over. You're going to invest into yourself. You're going to learn new skills that have the potential to make you income over and over and over again. The ticket is super cheap, guys. Click that link, register as a VIP, come and join me. And guys, I want to show you how to turn your annual income into your monthly income, maybe even your weekly income, maybe even your daily income. All of this is possible, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in this training. If you'd like to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Share this with about 10 people. Share it with about 10 different people that need to see this, need to hear this. And I'll see you in the next training.